Okay.
I didn't
So
know.
she.
Okay.
Good morning, Good morning. Good morning, everyone. This is Spirit Sessions of View of the Light, and now I'm going to bring you to our brand because I didn't open the show with that. So that's me today. Hello. Hi, everyone. It's Spirit Sessions of View of the Light, and I really wanted to bring you that trailer because it shows our connection to the Breakthrough Show Network, and that's very important today because we have a visionary, a wonderful woman, a mother, someone who speaks the truth from her heart, and really has given her all to the Breakthrough Network show. Has brought forth a whole bunch of different ideas to all of us. And I'm going to let Teresa introduce our guest today. It's been a long time friend.
So welcome, everyone. Welcome. At Spirit Sessions of View of the Light, we like to break down the different concepts so that we could use them, not just keep storing information in our head for someday. And so what Jessica is bringing us today is about surviving, thriving, moving ahead, going through the breakthroughs. There's so much about Jessica. She has been, I want to say, like a lifelong friend to us. Ever since I even first met Emily Harrison of the Akashic Academy, I would see you, and I was knowing you back then, and I was admiring what you did. I didn't know how amazing you were. Rhonda calls you a visionary, and that's true, but I see you also as a creatrix, someone who's always creating, and you help people hook up and stuff. I mean, you really got this amazing genius to you, and it's so exciting. And so, of course, welcome to Spirit Sessions.
Thank you. It's so good to be back with you guys, and I feel the same way about all of you. And what a fantastic introduction, and I'm so thankful for our friendship, our personal relationships, and our business relationships. And I'm happy that we can be involved on all these different levels. I appreciate you.
I think it's been really a great ride with you, Jessica. It's something that always pulls at my heart when I see your stuff. And, whenever I see you on, I go, wow, that woman's got it all together. But tell us. But tell us, how do you create that illusion?
Yeah. Well, I'm a really good actress, apparently. So let's start with that.
Oh, but I love it. It's true. You tackle big things, and I'm over here barely fathoming the seed of what you're doing, and you've already spread the whole thing and stuff, and I'm like, wow, you know what I mean? That's what you're like to me.
Oh, no, I listen, I appreciate that. And I think as time has gone on, I've given myself a little bit more credit for how much I take on and how much I'm able to accomplish. However, there's a couple things. First, I really feel like it's normal for me I had a really beautiful conversation with my good friend Scott Mason a couple days ago, who is a career coach, and I value his opinion so much as a friend. And I said, I just need to talk to you because I need to make sure I'm not completely losing my marbles here, which we already know the marbles are rolling down the street, but that's another story. But I said, listen, I said, so many coaches, especially career coaches out there, entrepreneurial coaches, will tell you to niche down, do one thing, pick one thing to be. I can't do that. I can't do that because one, it's not who I am. And two, when I've tried, I'm completely and utterly miserable. I need to be this person who has my hand in different things and I made a whole post a couple weeks ago on Facebook where I said, one day I might be, making vegan cupcakes for someone. The next day I'm hosting a show. The next day I'm writing a book. The next day I'm giving someone a Reiki treatment. And I love being that way, to where, so it's not anything, I think I brush it off when people compliment me on what I accomplish, because of the fact that it's just normal to me to literally have my hands in all the things.
I
It's
can
not
understand that.
you think it's not inattention, it's attention to everything, and you like everything. So it
Yes.
makes it hard to just
It does.
zero down. Why should we zero down on one thing?
Oh, yeah.
And there's a whole world out there, right?
Yeah, all the field of potential all around us. Why
Yeah.
are we sitting here? I mean, this is me this morning, and I'm realizing, why am I putting things off? Boom.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm sick of that. That's what I've been inspired to do. And,
Yeah.
Jessica there. You start things and you finish. I mean, that's way beyond me. I like that.
Love it. Love it.
So tell us about your book, and that's Thriving Through Change. And tell us how you thrive through change, because you've had a lot of change in the last 6 months. I don't know anybody who can pick up and move their house in like a month. I've never known anybody who can do that, like, unless you're a teenager and have like 2 suitcases full of clothes.
I think I'll have like lifetime PTSD from that whole experience. Like, I truly, there's things that I think my whole life, really, I've experienced a lot of change. I feel like, look, all of us experience change on a moment to moment basis. Every time we take a breath, that's a change. And like, we know scientifically how often our bodies are changing, our cells reproduce. Like, change is who we are. It's all around us. But I think, so I wrote this ebook back in 2016. And it was called Coping Through Change. And it was literally like, I don't know, 16 to 20 pages. It was really elementary. It was basics of things that I felt like I wanted to hear and needed to hear, that maybe I already knew, but I just needed the reminder during the period of time when my brother passed away, which we've talked about on this show before, and how that changed my life. And then, like, so much was changing, where it was my diet changed. We became plant-based and started homeschooling, and we moved, and I had other loved ones pass away. And so all of these big changes, and I was having babies at the time, like all of these huge changes were happening. And I said, what are the things that I need to remind myself of in order to get through these times of change? And so that's how Coping Through Change was born. And like I said, that was back in 2016. I was very much still, I feel very green on my own, although there's moments when I still feel like that now on my personal and spiritual development journey. But I was very new to being a part of those communities online and whatnot, and was working with Kara Melendi at the time, which I know you guys know really well, love her. And so that's where the initial idea came from. And since that time, it was 2020, when, of course, all of us were in the midst of global change, right? And I said, I got the download that I need to remaster this book. My guides told me, change the title. First of all, the title's wrong. You haven't just coped and survived through change. You've thrived through change. You've been able to not just get by, but to change your view on change and transition to what an opportunity it is for me to use this moment to change my life. And so I knew that I had to change the title, and I changed from Coping Through Change to Thriving Through Change. And then I was telling Rhonda before the show today, I went in, my intention was to change a couple things around and just edit what I already had. And I'm going through all the pages and I'm like, no, I want to add a journal here. And I want to add this, and I have new thoughts about this, and these are words that I would never use now, so I want to change that. So it went from a 20 page ebook to a 112 page paperback, and that's where we're at today. So it just released today. Yay!
Oh, congratulations!
Have you got a picture? Have you got a A book to show
I
us?
don't have a physical because it's like literally just for sale today.
Oh.
So I have to get a physical copy in my own hands as well. But on all of my social media, everywhere, you can see the cover, and the cover features a beautiful photo that I took down at the beach here on coastal Connecticut when I got home, because we just moved back a couple months ago. And it really, to me, the cover is so symbolic of this continual period of change that I'm going through. I'm working through it with everybody else. And I think that's the biggest thing that I would share as this book comes out today.
I mean, you either change or you die, right?
That's it.
I mean, seriously, if we can, a heartbeat doesn't go like this. A heartbeat goes like this.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the way we have to be, and not.
Yeah.
But we've made it so hard in society we got to be happy all the time. Right? Don't you think that's like, and we have to be perfect all the time. We don't make it easy for people not to be perfect and not to be anything but happy. Do you find that? Do you find that
I think, we talk a lot in our communities about, toxic positivity and things like that. Spiritual bypassing is another phrase that's used. And I kind of am split down the middle a little bit with that, because I understand the concept of, saying we shouldn't hide our emotions, right? There's a section in the book where I talk a little bit about affirmations. And when I first wrote the ebook, I referred to them as positive affirmations. And I'm more in the mindset now of, like affirmative talk, like rather than calling something positive or negative, but because really truly it could go either way. Like if we eat a cupcake, our taste buds are happy, our blood sugar might not be. So it's not really positive or negative, right? But I have this section about affirmations, and I say, look, you got to either use them or not. You got to change them to where they fit you. It's really that part of the book and several other parts are really about customizing these things that we know, instead of saying like, you have to do things this way, you have to be happy, you have to use this tool in this way. It's about doing things your way. It's about forming things the way it works for you. And I'm very, very clear a couple places in the book that if you need to have a meltdown, and if you need to have what I refer to, and Brittany will get a kick out of this, a Veruca Salt moment, where you need to be a brat and stomp your feet for a while, then that's what you need to do. But you also need to do those things in the understanding that of what the consequences are of doing that. If you're good with having this tantrum for a couple of days and being stagnant for a couple of days, then have the damn tantrum.
Right on.
It wakes people up sometimes.
Yeah.
And
I love that.
Yeah.
So your book, is it more for like people going through a crisis, or is it more just about how to thrive through ongoing change all your life?
I really feel like it's about the ongoing change. So I think that there are a lot of things in it that can absolutely help in crisis. But the thing that I've learned about that, I don't feel as if I would have handled my crisis moments as well if I wasn't practicing these tools when I wasn't in crisis. So when you buy the book, one of the amazing things that I included the first time that is included this time is you get a 21-day calendar that'll take you through the entire book, where you're doing an activity or reading a little section or something every day for 21 days. And it takes you through the book, but it takes you through in a way where you're starting to implement stuff daily, so that hopefully the next time you have a baby, lose your job, your house burns down, so whatever it is that you're now you've been working on these tools, and hopefully you've had the memory of like, I'm not alone because Jessica's been through this stuff too.
Wow. Wow. Yeah. How brilliant. I like the way you did that.
So have you got some tools that you can share with us? What's your number one tool today? I'm not, because I know they change every day considering what you need, right?
So I know that this is going to be like super elementary. But really the last 3 months, my tool has been the art of being present, really. Like I have to breathe. And because I am this person, my mind, we talked about the squirrel before the show. Okay. My mind is the squirrel. Okay. It's constantly like, where's the nuts? Where's the tree? What is going on? Oh, look at that. Like my brain does that on a regular basis. So I am this person that, despite my biggest efforts in discipline, I'm always evaluating the past. I'm always envisioning, I'm a creative, I'm a visionary, envisioning like what's to come, and I'm getting excited about it. So it takes literally every ounce of energy that I have to come back to present and come back to the center. And if somebody, the last few months, if someone says to me like, hey, can you do something 6 weeks from now? I'm like, I don't know. I don't know right now. Right now, I have to just whatever in the moment. If 6 weeks from now that's still going, we'll see like how I feel on that day. But right now, it's been that art of coming back to present and just breathing and staying connected to people who are bringing me back to earth. Like, come back to us, Jessica. And just doing what I feel like doing in the moment. I haven't made a whole lot of plans, and I'm usually the planner. But this book, even literally, it's been in the works since 2020. But last week I said, I need to get my shit together. And then there it was. So it was just, it's that moment, that being present, that I can't say enough. Like when everything else is going crazy around you, just allow yourself to do whatever you need to do in the moment, whether it's cry or be angry or go outside or eat something or sleep or whatever it is. Just be.
I like that.
So how many children do you have at home right now?
I have 5 at home, 6 total. Yeah.
Wow. That's pretty hard to be in the moment every moment, though.
Yeah.
But at the same time, being present is really important to those children, because you can't be in the future or in the past when you have children, can you? You have to be right there with them. Yeah. I mean, they're at a certain age, they stay in the present. They're always kind of not thinking too far ahead. I guess that might be a gift and a curse for them. But I mean, for young children, they don't see too far ahead, and they don't really think about the past. It's all about now. I'm hungry right now. It doesn't matter, dinner's in 5 minutes, but I need something now. So do you find that you've been learning lessons from your kids constantly?
Oh, 100%. Like they remind me to be present. They remind me to look ahead at things. They remind me constantly to keep it simple. Because I write with the squirrels and the envisioning and the processing. I can complicate everything. I'm really good at that. That's like a skill. I'm really good at complicating things. So my kids remind me to keep it simple. Recently, when a dear friend of mine passed away, my kids had the opportunity to meet her because I saw her daily in the projects that we were working on. And so when I told my daughter, my youngest, she's 6, I told her about what happened, and she just looked at me and she was like, I don't like it when people die. And that was it. Like, it wasn't complicated. It wasn't this whole drawn out thing. She got a little emotional for a minute and was like, I just don't like it. Like, why can't we say that as adults? Like, I just don't like it. Like, that something happened, but we complicate it. And so that's the biggest thing with them, is they really remind me to be present and keep it simple. It doesn't have to be this long drawn out thing.
Can we talk a little bit about Dorothy? That's the friend you're talking about. Can we talk about a little bit of Dorothy and her legacy and how you imparted with that, you kind of involved with that legacy?
Yeah. Dorothy Auger, I met last year, and she immediately, we connected immedately. I had learned about the poem that she wrote called For Love. And she lived in Brussels, Belgium. And when the terror attacks happened over there years ago, she had a friend who went missing in that bombing. And immediately she did what she loved to do. She got to work, which was, she loved poetry, and she wrote this poem called For Love. She didn't wait to find out if he was okay. She just did what she felt like she needed to do in the moment. So she wrote this poem, ended up finding out 3 days later that he passed in the bombing, that she had lost her friend. But in the meantime, in those 3 days, there were so many people who read that poem and were inspired by it that they began asking her, like, hey, is it okay if I translate this into my language? Since that time, the poem has been translated into over 70 languages. 70, like 70. And Dorothy had a vision to start recording some of these. Like, we've had them in writing. Now we want to have people say them, on audio and video. And she started setting up Zooms and StreamYards for us to all get together and compile them. And I said, Dorothy, I would love to be a part of this. Can I help you edit them? Can I help you compile them? Can I help you with this project in some way? Like, I was so inspired by it, because when I would sit down, you'd be in this room with, like, Zoom room with 6 other people, and you hear it in Italian and French and L'Iquala, which is only spoken by like 60 people now or something like that. Like, it's unreal. And you feel it. Like, you don't even have to know what they're saying. You just feel it and you experience it. And I was like, I have to be a part of this. I don't know what I can do, but I have. And she's like, well, if you want to help, you can. And so I was a part of helping to put them together. And when the war began in the Ukraine, between Ukraine and Russia, she said, we're going to get together every morning, Monday through Sunday, to read this poem together. And it was at 7:00 in the morning, or excuse me, I was in Central at the time. It was at 6 a.m. Central time for me, 12 or 1 p.m. In Belgium. And we had, ever since, that was early this year, we had been together every single morning reading the poem together. And when was it? October 16th was a Sunday, and it was just Dorothy and I that were able to be on that day. And we had a beautiful reading together, and we set our intentions for what we were reading the poem for. And on Monday the 17th, Dorothy didn't show up to the poem reading. And it's just one of those things where you kind of just figure, oh, somebody got busy or something. You never think anything. And I went on to do Project Joy that morning. And when I got off, I received the message that Dorothy had a massive heart attack. And then she remained in a coma for a week. And the following Monday, she passed. So it's been a couple weeks now. And it's hard to get up, and I reread the poem every day still, to get up and know she's not going to be there. I feel very fortunate that I used to I used to help lead the grief share program at the church that I went to. I've been through so much grief in my own life. Grief is a big part of what I talk about in the book, Thriving Through Change, as well. And I feel so touched by her life and what she was trying to accomplish. And I feel so validated. She, in her work, made me feel validated, because I've always been this person who, I just want to see a world of shiny, happy people. Like I want everybody to be joyful and glad and loved. And I believe the most horrible people on the planet, somewhere in there is something good, something. And she was the first person that I have met in my life who had similar, call them naive, ideals for this world. And I'm forever changed by Dorothy. And but I feel inspired to where I've gotten to work. I've gotten 3 more recordings since she passed of languages we didn't have yet, and I will continue as long as I can.
Do you want to read the poem? I can put it up on the screen.
I would love to. I can read it by heart.
I know you can. I'm just putting it up on the screen for everybody else to follow along.
For love. I shall stand for love, even with a broken soul, even with a heavy heart. I shall stand for love, for the world is wounded, not just my little piece of land where I am mostly safe, where I am mostly well, but our world, everywhere, every day. I shall stand for love because we need more light, not more death, not more power, not more bombs. I shall stand for love so that our children are safe, so that our friends are sheltered, so that our borders are open. I shall stand for love, even with a broken soul, even with a heavy heart.
That's beautiful. Thank you. And if anybody wants a copy of it, it's in the remarks with this show. I put it in the description, and people can go to which website to find that. I think
we shall stand for love.world will take you to her Facebook page, where you can find every copy of every. So if your mother tongue is Hebrew or French or Icelandic or anything like Chinese, Japanese, you can go and find your mother tongue and read it in your language as well.
Have you got it in a Nook yet?
In a what?
A Nook?
I don't think so. So we'll have to work on that.
People of the Aboriginal languages can maybe hook up with you from Canada.
That would be if there's anybody who, please email me, Jessica at thebreakthroughshow.com. And if you have a language that you're like, I don't see it and I want it, then please help, with the project.
That's awesome. That's really cool. Thank you, Jessica.
Okay.
I know it's quite an inspiring poem, and it's a prayer for peace, really. That's what it is, and it's an intention. And this is where we go to expectations. We should expect this, shouldn't we?
Yeah.
It's beyond just because expecting this and keeping it like what you were talking about expectations. Without expectations is the core of manifesting, right? It's the center of manifesting.
Yeah.
So if we expect this and not expect the opposite, if we expect this, maybe we can create that vibration that sings around the world.
Yeah. I mean, even so in the book, I talk about a 4-step thing. I say to plan, first of all, because I'm a planner. I love to get your calendar out. I love to, put things in your calendar. I'm very, very I guess sort of, I'm so Aquarius, but I'm like very Virgo in that way, which is like weird for me. But like, I'm like, get your planner out, let's do this. And so I talk about planning, and then I say to expect, and talk about the importance of expecting things to be the way that you want them to be. And then the third part is we have to allow. Now that we've planned and we've expected things to be amazing, now we have to allow them to unfold. We have to stop getting in our own way of allowing things to unfold. And then the fourth part is the hard part. That's where we detach from whatever the outcome is. So I think we even with the poem, we're planning to change the world. We expect that people are changed by this poem. We allow the space for them to do that by putting it out there, and now we have to detach and hope that that people will be moved by it and their lives will be changed.
So true. So I think we put a note in, but I hope you can put in the comments the link to your book now that it's officially launched in the comments, because I think that would be really great for everyone to pick up a copy and get your calendar for 21 days. Change is hard, but it's how we live, right? Otherwise we're always that nut in the ground and never the tree.
Yeah.
Which is sometimes we're just nuts.
And the squirrels come and get them. And
and it keeps on going on that theme. Yes. I know. Oh, great. I'm going to put that in the. So what's next for Jessica? What's going on? Tell us what your week looks like this week. Let's just go for the week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The small week.
Oh my God. So I'm really I'm gonna enjoy my husband a lot this week coming up, because he's starting a brand new job next week, or the week on the 14th. And this was like this was a 6-week process to get this job. I have never, like, it's almost like he's gonna be in charge of the little red button or something. Like, I don't know what in the world. Like, it was a whole talk about stress. So it's. And speaking of change, this will be another change and transition for us, of course. So I'm spending time with him this week. I am, of course, going to be promoting my book anywhere and everywhere that I can. I'm making muffins this week. Making vegan muffins this week. So if you're in the southeastern Connecticut area and you'd like some muffins, I'd be happy to make you some.
What kind are they this week?
I'm making pumpkin cranberry white chocolate.
Oh, that's
nice. Yes, I saw that. I remember.
Yes.
That's so good.
Very yummy. And then what else am I doing this week? That's probably it. I'm going with the flow a little bit this week. Yeah. Oh yeah, I've got Project Joy Monday morning. I went back to a Monday only schedule for the rest of the year. I've been Monday through Friday this year, but I'm Monday only. That's the other thing, like when things really started when the stuff was hitting the fan for us in our personal lives, I said, look, I've got to I need some time when I get up in the morning that I can just go about my day and not like stop and do the show and I just needed a minute. So I'm on Mondays now. So that'll be 9 a.m. Monday morning. And then I am also this month, and I'm sort of starting with planning for it right now. I can't even say it yet. So I'll have to come back at some point when I can say it. But I will say I've been processing, what next year is going to look like for the Breakthrough Show Network. And we came up with a fabulous idea that has sort of reignited my passion for the network and the shows, and I'm excited to get to work on that. So that's what my creative time is being spent on right now, is a little bit of that planning and the fun that comes with starting a new project. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to unmute myself. What about your kids? How are they adjusting to the change? And how are you teaching them?
They love being here. My I cannot believe that, and maybe it's they're getting older too, and so they're naturally changing as well. As we know, all you guys have children. As moment to moment goes on, they're like a different person every 5 minutes. But my one of my younger daughters, when we had left the beach, she said to me, you are so lucky you grew up here. And I said, but you get to grow up here now too. Like this is your thing now too. And then my oldest daughter, who's 15, she was sitting at the table because with the way everything went when we got here, I was having a moment of going, should we have done this? like, was this a mistake? And she looked at me the other day and she said, I'm so happy here. I just feel so good. So they're thrilled about being here. We have a little bit of a better schedule where our homeschool is concerned, and all three of my oldest kids are volunteering at the library often. And this is kind of the kick of being back where you grow up. My young adult librarian still works there, and they're like working with her now. Like, it's the coolest thing. Like, I go to the beach and my 8th grade teacher is sitting on the bench. Like, it's like it's like the most wild thing ever, but it's so much fun, and they're getting to experience the places and the quality people, and just having some of the similar experiences. And it's nice to watch them grow up, but also like be interested in some of the same things that I was, and we have that new connection now, which is a lot of fun.
Sorry, I'm muted again. That's just awesome. So your whole life is going to be more exciting and more exciting and more exciting, is what you're saying, really.
I hope so. I hope it's mixed with naps.
Oh, heck yeah.
It's important to have naps, especially around. I remember my mom used to always nap after lunch, from 1 to 2 or something like that. And I know
a little siesta.
Yeah, I think that's the best time. Get up early, then have a little nap and whatever. So, chill pill. It's good. Sundays are good for that too. Sundays are nap days, right?
Yeah, I mean, you get up, you have breakfast, you get, do a couple things around the house, maybe lunchtime, you watch spirit sessions. If you're not watching spirit sessions, you're not spending your Sunday well. And then you get your nap, and then, go about the rest of the day.
Get your inspiration from the week. Then you go Project Jaya. It's 8 a.m. on Monday mornings.
9 a.m. Eastern time on Monday mornings. Yeah.
I'm going back from your central time. So 9 a.m. I catch it at 9 a.m. when I'm supposed to be working.
It's taken me the whole 3 months I've been here to get myself off of central time. So I don't expect anybody else to do it.
Wow.
Well, Teresa's on central time, so she's awesome. Everybody's on. Who the hell knows what time it is today? Because it's back an hour. I left my husband's clock back an hour on purpose, so he would get up as early as I do.
Right on.
So he just said, "What time is it?" And I said, "What time does your clock say?" No, I better get up. Yeah, sure. It's only 6 o'clock.
Well, and it's a time, nobody knows what time it is, and we have the full moon coming up, the eclipse, and so we rightfully have no idea what time it is, because that's a time of shaking things up a little bit, I think.
You're still into the full moon stuff, right?
I'm always into the moon stuff.
Yeah.
Is that because you grew up by the ocean, and you're kind of the ocean's so influenced by the moon, and you were so influenced by the moon?
That was one of the first things. So I went, I'm trying to pull up a picture while I'm talking to you here. I went down to the beach we had a full moon, and it was the harvest moon. And I went down to the water. I'm trying to blow it up a little bit maybe here. Will it let me? No, why would it? And the bright red moon came right up over the lighthouse.
Oh wow,
like an eye.
Beautiful.
I wish it came through, even because it was it's one of those moments where the camera's not even capturing like the full potential of what it is.
Yeah, because it doesn't get our optical
Yes.
illusion, right?
Yeah.
It looks, oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, it
That's
was gorgeous though.
So
Yeah, so I'll probably go down Wednesday too. That's like so thrilling for me finally to be with the ocean and the moon at the same time, and it's fantastic. Yeah.
So the eclipse is on Monday as well. Is that right, or am I wrong? I'm not as
Tuesday.
astrologically.
The eclipse is Tuesday.
Tuesday.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't think we get to see it from North America, though, do we?
The peak of the full moon is at 6:02 a.m. and I find it horribly and wonderfully at the same time ironic that it's on election day. So
yeah, that's true. Isn't that funny?
Your election day, yeah.
Here in the States,
well, that means change, throwing out what no longer serves you, right? Is that what it's pretty much about? Well, hopefully that the change will be good for everyone.
Change.
We'll all thrive through it.
And also, I mean, for me, like it's so important. And Teresa knows because she's taken one of my moon programs before, where it's so important for me to encourage people to celebrate on the full moon. Like that's such a huge part of it. Cause look, the moon's in a cycle, right? And we've talked about this when I was on the show talking about the moon phases before, but like you're on a cycle where that kind of sort of goes with nature, where you have a time for going within and darkness, and then you have an action time, and then you have a settle down time, and then you're back like restarting again. And a lot of times what happens is we get to the full moon and we automatically go into like release, because so many people teach that, which is if you feel like you need to release, please release. But we skip the part where we've celebrated all of the amazing hard work that we've done up until this point. And so it's important for us to celebrate. And so I know that there's a cycle with the full moons, and I believe that this particular one corresponds to the full moon in Taurus that we had back in 2004. So even think back to like what was your life, what was going on then? Now, that was a minute ago. I don't even remember what I ate for breakfast. But sometimes we'll have little reminders in our calendar, or something will jog our memory. But what was going on in the fall time of 2004? And what can you celebrate about how far you've come since that time? Like, what can we celebrate, and how can we go forward, not repeating anything that we don't want to repeat from the last little bit of time too?
I'm gonna have to look. I don't have to have
it affects it for 18 more years too. So like we had the 2004. Well, there's still another connection with this same moon down the line.
Holy cow!
It's interesting how they all tie together. There's always patterns. I don't get super caught up looking ahead at stuff so much anymore. It's more of like a presence in the moment thing for me now. Like if I know Brittany was just a young one in 2004, but I don't get too caught up so much anymore in the expectation of what things are going to be at the moon cycle 4 years from now. Like I really would get caught up a lot in that before, where now it's like, okay, I know the full moon's coming. If I'm feeling it, I go, okay, let's dig into this a little bit more. If I'm not feeling it, then I just, acknowledge what it is. And if someone else needs help, like I'll help them or whatever, but then it's moving on.
Okay. So we have a question for you.
Yeah.
I know we're wrapping up. So, now that you've had a little bit of time, you always know our questions. So what's the theme song this week for your life? What do you think is for the last, something that's been hitting you or you've been listening to? Because I know you listen to a lot of music.
You've been listening while you've been making your muffins to this song.
I do. Okay, so first of all, I have to acknowledge the goddess that is Cher today, because it is, if you're not listening to If I Should Turn Back Time all day today, then there's something wrong. I
know it's been in my head since this morning, and that's when I shared the meme. I'm going, oh, gotta share.
You got it. That's it. I don't know. I'm trying to think of, I have been in this mode of actually cleaning out my favorites on
Oh,
Spotify.
neat.
I don't know, I've been in like it's like spring cleaning, but the fall, my thing. And I go back and forth between different things, but I think um, I love the kind of music right now that is going from like one type of sound to another. One of the bands that's fantastic at this is Chicago, where it'll be playing one way and the next thing you know, like the song sounds completely different.
Right.
That's how I feel my life is right now. So I love music like that
Right
at the
on.
moment. Yeah.
And have you got a favorite crystal you like? Because I'll just ask you that one.
Oh, it's always amethyst. And then I have a pineapple quartz that I have out right now that is
For real?
really making me feel some kind of way. So yeah.
Oh, that's exciting.
Yeah.
kind of sunny, right? It helps lift your mood.
Yeah, it helps with your mood, but it's also like when I first got that crystal, I was having like visions and all kinds. So I feel very when I feel like I'm in a space of change and transition, like it makes me feel safe. It makes me feel like full of possibilities.
Woohoo. Any UFOs come to visit you since you've been home?
No. However, I knew from, a time when I was little that I could experience things, but I didn't know like little what that was, and typically intuitively I'm more of an audio, smelling, feeling kind of person. I have seen so much here that I mean, I don't know if I'm just in a different place or what, but I've seen so much. And so it's open, like being home has opened a whole other side of my intuition, which has been very interesting.
That's exciting.
That's exciting. Cool. And I guess I have to give a winner for this week before we, and that would be Tammy Griffiths. And Tammy, if you've won before, let me know, and we'll just we'll hook you up with something different. So maybe something for me before I go away. So so excited to have you here this week, and I'm so glad we're part of your family network. And we have to have more of your family on. We had the girls, so we got to get ourselves organized. So being a bit distracted lately, but awesome. Thank you so much.
Definitely. I can't wait for you to have Shiraz on, because he's a whole he's a whole Shiraz.
Maybe we'll have to get him on before I go away. Yeah, that'd be good before I go away for a little bit. But yeah, that'd be good. He's a whole different person, I know. Yeah,
and it's fantastic. Like we have a very I told him on a very personal note. He reminds me so much of my brother that I just feel like he was brought into my life to sort of, we have a little bit of that sibling banter going on sometimes, which is fun. So yeah,
awesome.
Love that.
Well, thank you again for being on, and thank you. Somebody loves Shiraz too. Yeah. I'm sure if we ask, you'll say yes too. Like, I think that's just like, okay, sure. Yeah, that would be great. So, any final words to us before you go? Words of wisdom.
I would just say, like, so many of us, especially the last few years, have just been sort of going through the motions. And I think that there's a time and place for that. But I just would say that you deserve so much more. You deserve to not just cope or survive day to day. You deserve to be able to see things in a way where you can thrive and become a better person. Like, you can facilitate your own transformation with all of these things that happen. And, just would offer you that today.
Thanks a lot, Jessica. And Bex will be back with us next week. She just had a scheduling problem. She had to work today.
You, Bex.
I love you. Miss you. But she does all the work behind with her graphics and everything else. Thanks so much. Thanks, Teresa. See you
Thank
later.
Love you.
Love you too.